Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Broken Brand. I'm your host, Stuart. I've decided to dig back a little bit into an article that I heard whispers of about last month, and it's still kind of on the books. Nothing's processing, but the state of New York has decided that it's going to enact a law that all its throughways, which they classify as high traffic tourist areas, to for all restaurants in those areas to be open 7 days a week. Now, it's obvious, well, I would say it's very likely that this is strictly targeted to Chick-fil-A, as a lot of articles have posted about. And I'm in agreement that that's probably the truth. And some people be like, well, what's the big deal? Well, it's overreach. It is government going beyond the scope of what we as citizens have decided that the government should be in charge of. We have regulations for businesses, absolutely. But this is for the common good, such as we've got food handler safety, departments of health that enact ordinances and guidelines to prevent restaurants from doing things improperly, to help prevent the spread of disease amongst restaurant food. I mean, how many times has Chipotle shut down because of a stupid E. coli outbreak? Quite a few times. That's why I never go. And I mean, that's what it's designed for, is to crack down to prevent mass infection of foodborne illnesses and things like that. I remember when I was working at a Mexican restaurant in Oklahoma, it's required by Oklahoma law that you have to get a Hep B vaccination. The restaurant I worked for, it paid for it. It wasn't a big deal. But why would they do that? Because Hep B was such a problem in the Oklahoma food industry that you had to have that vaccination. I mean, that was a requirement. Okay, I get it. Let's do it. Got my 2 shots, done, kept on working. We also have employee safety guidelines. You know, that you've heard of OSHA and other things like that. And that's the government overseeing the fact that the environment that the workers are working in is a safe environment. These two things are agreeably what we want government to do. We want to make sure that foodborne illness isn't spread like a plague with an E. coli outbreak or a Hep B outbreak, and two, we want everyone that's working in this industry and every job everywhere to be safe, to work in a safe environment. This is what government is designed to do. This, however, is not either one of those things. What this is telling a business how it must operate, which baffles me. This is why I say this does appear to be a singled attack on Chick-fil-A, because they are primarily well known throughout the United States that they close on Sundays for their families to have time off and to attend religious services. Now, let's take a step back from a national chain. This is going to affect local businesses, local restaurants, even more. Where I'm at, where I grew up in, I mean, down here in Texas and Oklahoma, Louisiana, Arkansas, yes, there's a lot of local restaurants that are just beyond stellar. I'm seriously. Barbecue and tacos in Texas, better than the rest of the world. I don't care what you say. It is. It's great. But almost every single local restaurant closes down 1 day a week. What day of the week is that? Monday. I mean, looking at the town I'm in, of the 40 restaurants that are geared towards Mexican Tex-Mex food, one is open on Monday. One is open 7 days a week. There's another one that is only open 3 days a week. They're only open on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, period. That's it. Those are the only 3 days they open. They're open 3 days a week. Not 7, not 5, 3. So that's their business model. This is what they've come to the conclusion of. This is the community we're in. This is how we can keep our staff from being overworked. This is how we can keep our profits up so we don't have to close our own doors. These are business decisions that local restaurants and local businesses have come to the conclusion. This is how we're going to run our business to make it profitable so we don't close our doors. And when the government says, no, you can't do that, you have to do what we say, it's going to put a tax on it's going to cause massive amount of problems. And you're like, well, what's the big deal? Just open an extra day. Well, it does have issues. You've got staffing issues. You've got issues of people requesting time off. You've got larger food costs now. You've got larger utility costs now because you're opening up an extra day. There's so many factors that go into running a business that you just can't say you have to be open 7 days a week. This is absolute government overreach. And even though the primary target seems to be Chick-Fil-A, this is going to hurt a lot of local businesses in those throughways that they've claimed are targeted tourist areas. I mean, if I was running a restaurant, yeah, that's a big concern. That's just how it is. Because sometimes to staff and fund all the food costs, electric costs, and utility costs, and everything that goes into running a business on a single day, when you've made your entire model on running 6 days, or 4 days, or 3 days, or 5 days, however long you pick, that's going to affect your business. Will those businesses survive? Some will. Absolutely. 100%. Will a national change like Chick-fil-A survive if they have to do that? I suspect they will. But that's not the point. The point is the government is overreaching into an area that we as a society, we as citizens of the United States of America have said, you don't get this outreach. What's to stop them from going to Lockheed and being like, oh, we need more planes, so you have to work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day to help make more planes for us. You have to go to Texas Instruments, be like, we need more microchips. You have to work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day to meet what we need. This is the government telling what businesses what to do. And that blows my mind. Any small business owner will tell you that's abhorrent. And you shouldn't be doing that. The government should not be doing that. But, yep, here they are doing exactly that. Why? I don't know. Because if it's not targeted to attack Chick-fil-A because the political climate in New York is very liberal, and I have no problem with them governing themselves with this liberal mindset in their area, fine, if this is how they want to do it, but you can't encroach on personal and business decisions. You're there to guide and provide safety. You're there to provide oversight with the purpose of protecting your people. That's what government does. Provides roads to get to these businesses. Provide police support to protect these businesses from being robbed or having other horrible things happen to them. That's what government is. This is 100% overreach. And I've did a couple searches and just kept trying to find more articles on it, but nothing's really been talked about. This is the latest article, and this goes back to January 4th. That's a few weeks ago, and before that, it's like December 14th, 21st, something around there, right before Christmas, that it was talked about but no one's talking about it. So I want to bring it back up. And just because this, if I was a New Yorker, I'd be upset. And if I was a New Yorker that owned a restaurant in one of these throughways, I'd be mad as all get out. 100%. The government's telling me I have to open my business. That means that as the owner of this restaurant, I don't get a day off. My staff doesn't get a day off. You are determining facts of my business and my life and my employees' life, which is not what a government does. That's what a dictatorship does. Now, I pray with all my heart that this law just gets shot down real quick, because it really is. It's government overreach, and you can't deny that. But it has to come from New Yorkers. New Yorkers really need to stand up and say, this is wrong. Because if I had a bunch of people from Wyoming coming down to where I'm at in the state I'm in saying, hey, absolutely, you have to do things this way because this is the way we do it, I'd be upset too. Like, who are you to tell me how we're supposed to live? I know we're United States, but in our states, we do things a little different than you. And I really hope New Yorkers stand up and do all they can to address and to shut this bill down that allows government control over businesses. Because you should be absolutely terrified of what's next. What is that? I don't know. But if the government can come in and tell a business how it's supposed to operate, when it's supposed to operate, and what hours are supposed to operate, that's not capitalism. That's communism. And I just can't stand for government telling people how to run their own businesses. I don't know what's next. I don't know what the people in charge of creating this bill, what they have in mind next. But I guarantee you it's not nothing. Because if history has taught us anything, it always starts with a step, and then another, and then another, until it's stopped. So New Yorkers, get out, get vocal, and prevent the government from telling businesses how they're supposed to operate, because that's not their job. Their job is to keep the public safe. And this is an overreach on any level of any government, local, state, federal, to determine how a business is supposed to operate. This is abhorrent in the extreme. This can be a catalyst for more terrible reform in legislature that controls more businesses, which I fear, or this can be stopped here and now and allow businesses to operate how they choose to operate. As long as they keep the people they serve safe, the people they work for them safe, I have no problem with it. So be mindful, people. Be mindful, my friends. Because out there's something crazy. There's something detrimental that is attacking us on every front that we can imagine. From business, physical, spiritual, and all those things. Be safe. Be true. And remember, I love you all, and there's nothing you can do about it.